Hey everybody, Matt.
And Danielle.
Back with you. The spawn of Satan. Not you. Not you. That was the description given to the person who we've come to look at today. Well, not look at her. Personally, she's been gone for about 600 years. But we are in Knaresborough and we've come to do a look at Mother Shipton's cave and a little bit of her story around the town. Knaresborough is a very popular tourist destination due to Mother Shipton's cave, which just also happens to be the oldest visitor attraction in the UK. Okay, so the plan for today, before we head to Mother Shipton's cave, is we'll have a look around Knaresborough and find one or two other bits to film. Not them. So we start with a walk along here. This is called Nid Gorge. At one point in this location, it said there was a shanty town. There's still evidence in the rock to suggest that this was the case. Next to it is the Chapel of Our Lady of the Crag. This chapel was built in 1408. It was a 15th century pilgrimage chapel en route to the long demolished Knaresborough Priory. It may have met the same fate as the Priory during the Henry VIII dissolution of the monasteries, if it wasn't covered with foliage at the time. The Templar knight carved into the wall on the outside, drawing his sword to protect the chapel, was possibly added a little bit later in the 17th century. Inside the chapel are carvings and gargoyles, and these are potentially dating back even further, possibly even back to 800 AD. This statue of Mary, though, has only been here a few years. I don't know where the steps lead, but we can't go up and look. Okay, so we're outside the Mother Shipton Inn, if you can hear us at all. And interestingly, Mother Shipton was such a famous name about 200 years ago that there were about 90 Mother Shipton inns or pubs across the UK. Now I think there's about 3 left in the UK, and this is one of them. Danielle, what does that remind you of behind us, that artwork?
The labyrinth.
Labyrinth. No one can blame you. But, yeah, it doesn't work the rest of it, but just the first bit. I'm not David Bowie, am I? Sorry. Yeah.
I'm always saying I love the way I'm out.
Feel good?
Yes, it's cold.
Cold. So here we are, hunting down the River Nid. And a bit later on, we're going to head to Mother Shipton's cave. Now, Mother Shipton was born Ursula Shipton in 1488 in a cave on the river, hence Mother Shipton's cave. And her mother was called Agnes, and was only 15 years old when she gave birth to Ursula. Ursula, at a very young age, started showing Very strange signs. So Agnes being 15, no known father, suggested that she had been impregnated by the devil and given birth to the spawn of Satan. There's rumours that Agnes, after giving birth, spent the rest of her life in a convent to atone for her sins. Basically being pregnant at 15. Nothing like a good bit of punting. Are you enjoying yourself?
Having a great time.
What's your job?
Steering.
Steering. Wouldn't it have been good if we'd found out about that?
Yeah, you know.
Like, as we set off. We are crashing. We are crashing on the river into a wall. We are crashing, forever smashing Knaresborough to pieces. But not in, I go, oh, something about a fall. Hi, hi. Do you enjoy your boating trip?
It's beautiful.
Fantastic. At an early age, Ursula displayed signs of supernatural powers that she would become famous for. At 9 months old, unearthly spirits reportedly appeared in her house. Noises, doors banging, objects lifted, and even the neighbours were lifted and spun around. Imps, disguised as monkeys, chased the neighbours away. The locals were terrified of this baby, who seemed to be able to conjure the very demons from hell. At 24 years old, she married Tony Shipton and became known as Mother Shipton, starting to make prophecies. As per the guidebook, Danielle, I am Mother Shipton. Let me take you to my cave.
Alright.
Which one does it say I am?
Village idiot.
This is the idiot.
No, it's drunk.
Drunk. That's closer to me.
Oh, that's the one.
This is quite a good angle. Who says money doesn't grow on trees?
Doing what?
So do you think we can get one of these back to your car?
Yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah, why not?
It'll be worth a fortune.
That one?
That one?
Yeah.
Got a few pennies in it.
Mm.
Cool.
Yeah. Silver coins.
We might be seen. Okay, so it's quite interesting that we have some Peter Pan items here, purely because in 2 months' time we are going to be at Peter Pan's birthplace. So all will be revealed for that in 2 months' time.
Hello.
Do you fancy a visit to the Pixie Hollow Hideaway?
I feel I'm quite pixie-esque.
Yes,
So
definitely. Definitely. Well, the Pixie one's here. Peter Pan is in there.
at least we're neighbours.
Wow.
These letters are a bit freaky.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
like
wow.
the way they're stood up.
Yeah.
But people like.
Wow.
Is this a tape?
Nearly all pictures you see of Mother Shipton show her as what would be, I guess, a stereotypical witch, almost like the Disney version of a witch. But funnily enough, this vision is the first time this kind of witch character appears, and almost every stereotypical witch that follows is based on Mother Shipton. Even the character of Mr. Punch is said to be a version of Mother Shipton. However, did she really look like this? These descriptions of her didn't really become written until the 1800s, nearly 200 years after her death. Wow. So here we are at the petrifying well, just next to Mother Shipton's cave. Interestingly, until recently, well, until his passing, this place was actually owned by the magician Paul Daniels. But over years, 400 years in fact, people have come here and they've left things in the well, and over time they calcify and turn to stone. You can see quite a few objects up above. Danielle's got her eyes on that camera. Interestingly, the very nice red jacket there, we were trying to figure out what the BH stood for. Vagabond. And a bit later on we'll see some objects of the rich and famous that have calcified in the well and are on display in the museum. This is the wishing well. What you're doing here is put your right hand in, leave your hand in for a while, and make a wish. Don't wish for bad fortune or money. What am I going to wish for? I didn't wish for my hand to turn to stone. So when you look back on the petrifying well from here, this section here, it's supposed to look like a skull. You know.
You have entered this legendary cave where over 500 years ago a baby was born during a thunderstorm. The baby was heard about the birth and said a witch had been born in the cave next to the magic well. 2 years, until eventually the act of Beverly intervened. The mother, Agatha, still nods. But Ursula had a gift. She could predict the future. She predicted small local events at first, but she developed her powers almost as quickly as her reputation spread.
One of Mother Shipton's prophecies foretold that Henry VIII would be victorious over the French in the Battle of the Spurs in 1513, and he was. His Chancellor, Cardinal Wolsey, had ambitions to become Archbishop of York. Wolsey reportedly threatened to burn the witch, as she had said that Wolsey would arrive at York, but he would never be the Archbishop. On his way to York, he was arrested for treason and died some weeks later, facing trial. Did being a favourite of Henry VIII see her not suffer the same fate as a number of other witches at the time? So now we're in the museum, and this is where we see some of the objects that have been left by famous people in the past and what they look like once they've been turned to stone. Zoltar speaks. Oh, hi. So it's interesting seeing Sarah Lancashire's shoes, because Danielle worked on Happy Valley.
I did.
Did she wear those shoes?
I don't know. It's hard to tell now, but potentially not as a police officer now.
Ah, okay. So that's Mother Shipton. That was really cool. Somehow I'm still able to hold onto the camera after putting my hand in that well. It hasn't been right ever since. But it's okay. So we'll finish off by showing you a few more sights as we head back to the car. There may well be another cave for us to find as well. But, let's start with this lovely church. So the graves are very weathered. Okay, church is open. Let's have a little look around. This is St John's Parish Church in Knaresborough. So we still haven't really talked about some of the prophecies that Mother Shipton came up with. In her future prophecies, she prophesied that after her death, the Spanish Armada would be defeated, the English Civil War would happen, as would the fire of London. And these all happened. I want to go down there. It looks nice. It's a dungeon.
Not today.
Some of her prophecies were also open to interpretation. She spoke of carriages that went without horses, and accidents fill the world with woe. Maybe that was a description of cars. She said, thoughts shall fly in the twinkling of an eye. Telephone, maybe? She prophesied the discovery of potatoes, tobacco, and even submarines. One she did get wrong was the prediction that the world would end in 1881. However, her own death she predicted correctly and went to bed in 1561 to await the Grim Reaper. So, now that Mother Shipton is known to raise demons from hell, it's just started to thunder. Is she angry? Let's see what happens. Here we go. St. Robert's Cave. Ancient monument. Lived in the cave for 30 years. Wow, St. Robert died in 1218. He's buried in the chapel. Wow. There he is. Oh boy. That is scary. Yeah. So St. Robert is Robert Flower, born in 1160 to 1218. He was a hermit who lived in the cave just below us here, by the River Nid. Here we go. This site is an ancient place treated with respect. Sorry. Ah. Maybe a torch would have been good. Alright, Daniel's going into the light. It's thundering quite a lot. So we have some atmosphere. Oh wow. There's the thunder. Right. What? Is that it?
Yeah, I was expecting it to be bigger, to be fair. Watch out, like there's a big spider balloon in it, but it's not really small actually.
Does it not go around there?
Apparently not.
No?
Oh, that's the end.
Oh wow, okay, well fair enough.
Weird.
I spent 30 years in here.
There's some bits on the wall.
Cabins. Yeah. Wow. Okay, oh wow, look at the roof ones. But, yeah, Jimmy. I don't think they're very old.
No.
That's cool.
Oh, it is all over all the walls.
Yeah.
Some of it's quite recent though.
Yeah. Wow. expected to see more, but it's still pretty cool. So just a few photos inside the cave, but of course we need to conclude our Shipton story, because it's not known exactly what happened to Mother Shipton right at the end. Most likely suggestions are she was buried in Clifton in York, but basically she could have even been buried somewhere near the cave. We just don't know. And as mentioned earlier, in terms of how she looks and the prophecies themselves, they were kind of put together in a book in the 1800s, so 2 centuries after she'd passed away. However, there is enough proof to suggest that she did exist, her prophecies were correct, and she helped put Knaresborough on the map. Yeah, so what we're thinking is this is probably all former cave, but it's gone over time. Otherwise, yeah, 30 years in there. Wow. Okay guys, we're going to sign off here and get back to the car because it's thundering and potentially about to soak us through. There we are. This is St Robert's Cave behind us. Yeah, fabulous place, Knaresborough, if you've not been already. If you like history, this is definitely the place to come. Mother Shipton's Cave, amazing. My right hand seems to have stopped being awful, so I've recovered from that. Yeah, leave it at that. So I hope you've enjoyed our trip in, I nearly said Whitby, Knaresborough, and we will see you soon for the next video. Next time we see Danielle, we'll be out at sea. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. 5 weeks to go till our road trip. Road trip 1, our first road trip of summer. More details in time. So take care. See you soon. Bye. So this is how Knaresborough looked about 10 minutes after we stopped filming. Well, it wouldn't be a walk with you if the camera didn't look like this, would it? Very true. Yay.